Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today I'll be reviewing a brand new Korean-Italian fusion product from Samyang. This is their Tangle Bulgogi Alfredo Tangluccine. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. So yeah, this is quite a mouthful to say. Bulgogi Alfredo Tangluccine. Samyang just launched this Tangle product line around, I want to say, July of 2023, and I'm filming this in October, so this is still pretty new. There's a second product in this line called Kimchi Rosé Tangluccine, which I have unfortunately not been able to find yet, so let's just focus on talking about this one. Now, Samyang's website for this product line calls Tangle a Korean-inspired pasta, also called K-pasta, where they combine air-dried noodles with Korean-flavored sauces in a twist on Italian pasta. And the name Tangle comes from the Korean word for a firm and elastic texture, referring to the noodles here mimicking fettuccine pasta. Their goal with this product line is to combine these new premium noodles with a substantial plant-based flake packet for a hearty one-pot fusion meal, which I think is pretty cool if it works. As you may have seen from my Paldo Gomspaghetti review, these fusion dishes don't always turn out great. Now, I'm going to guess many of you already know what fettuccine Alfredo is, so I probably don't have to get into that discussion. But you may not know what bulgogi is if you didn't watch my review of Samyang bulgogi noodle soup in episode 119. It's basically barbecued Korean meat in a sweet and savory sauce. It's usually beef, but it can also be pork or chicken. The soup in that bowl was flavorful, if not a little sugary, and so hopefully that means that this sauce is going to be just as good, if not better. I won't be disappointed if this hits those same flavor notes. Now, these come in 4-packs or bowls, although I have not seen the bowls anywhere yet. They may still be coming soon. I paid $7.99 for a 4-pack at my local H-Mart, so expect to pay about the same in-store or online once these start popping up in more places. I think this is a pretty decent value for a new premium product. Let's check out the ingredients and see what's inside. The sodium count in here is actually pretty great. It is a not unreasonable 1,060 milligrams, or 46% of your daily allowance. But there is a bit of sugar in here, 15 grams, if that concerns you. That is more than was in the bulgogi soup. Inside the pack, we've got these air-dried noodles, and they look and feel really nice, honestly. And we've got 3 sachets with steps written on them, which is pretty cool. Now, the noodles are fortified with onion, garlic, and yeast extract, but even though they are intended to mimic pasta, they do not contain egg. In the sauce packet, we've got more yeast, MSG, corn syrup, soy sauce, garlic, shiitake mushrooms, chili pepper, ginger, and something I've never seen before, artificial grill flavoring, which is also made from yeast and other stuff. So that's interesting. The powder packet contains cream, butter, and black pepper. And then finally, the flake packet contains carrots, bok choy, and textured vegetable protein, or TVP, which is basically little soy flakes meant to be imitation beef. So we've got plant-based flakes, but dairy in the powder, meaning that this is all vegetarian but not vegan as prepared. Now, before I cook this, I have a bit of a dilemma. Unless there's some extenuating circumstances, I always conduct my reviews according to the package instructions, but I have it on good authority that following the instructions on this package, which has you mixing the sauce and the powder in the noodle water, results in a fairly loose sauce. The instructions don't tell you to drain the cooking water or reserve a little for the end or anything like that, which of course would result in a more appropriately thicker sauce that you would probably expect from something with the word Alfredo on it. So I know going into this that the consistency of this sauce might not be as good as it can be, but I'm going to proceed with the instructions as written because, let's face it, almost everyone who buys this is going to do the same thing unless they happen to watch this video. So with all that said, let's go cook. And here we go. Noodles and flakes with noodle water. Now, Samyang recommends boiling anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 minutes depending on your al dente preference. And I split the difference at 5 minutes, and this is how much water is left. Yeah, a little bit. I had it on pretty high rolling boil, so this is what you get from that. Now I'm going to stir in the sauce and powder, and you can watch this all come together. Oh, that sauce smells good. Kind of like actual bulgogi marinade, and sweet and soy forward with some onion. I like it. I could probably eat these noodles with just that and be happy. Now that I'm sitting here ruminating about the smell, it actually smells quite a bit like bulldog sauce without the spice, just to give you an idea. All right, and now the powder. Yeah, it doesn't smell like much aside from black pepper, which makes sense because its purpose here is to add just a creamy finish. I think if you're vegan and you just want to add the sauce and not the powder, and maybe substitute some sort of vegan-friendly thickener and black pepper, you could probably make this vegan without too much hassle. Let's stir this up. Okay, and here we go. And as you can see, yeah, it's still watery. It's not quite as bad as I was expecting, but not reminiscent of Alfredo sauce. It may or may not thicken while it cools down. I'm not going to be testing that right now because, well, I'm in a little bit of a time crunch because, well, I only have so much time for my lunch break right now. But I'll let you know in the video text how it goes. But yeah, this is what you get right after you add the sauce and powder packets. All right, time for a taste. Okay, interesting. Let's talk noodles first. Samyang promised premium quality air-dried noodles, and these definitely have a premium feel to them. They're very close to fettuccine pasta in texture and shape, perfectly al dente as promised, just a great bite to them. You can even smell the onion and garlic extract in them while they were cooking. They're spectacular. Probably the best noodles I've had from Samyang, period. 10 out of 10 for the noodles. Now let's talk about spice level. There is chili pepper in this, and it has the tiniest little zing happening at the back of my throat right now. I don't think it's much. It should just give you a little kiss of heat and not much else. I'm gonna give it a 1.5 out of 10 for spiciness. And now with so many ingredients in here, let's talk about the flavor and the overall quality of this. Now I already said that the sauce smelled very good on its own. And once you add it to the cream powder and the noodles and flakes, this is great. It's a wonderful combination of sweet and savory, a lot of onion and garlic flavor, and that artificial grill flavor comes through a little bit and does make this feel like it might have been sitting on an open flame at some point. The pieces of TVP, which you can see right there, are pretty big and chunky, and they're terrifically seasoned, giving this a really nice beefy quality without using real beef. And I like the carrots and bok choy well enough, even if they aren't the stars of the show, they did rehydrate just fine. The ingredients listed mushroom powder, and indeed there is a mushroomy umami flavor going on with this as well. And I love mushrooms, so no complaints from me there. So the downside, as expected, is the consistency of this sauce. This feels like it should be thicker, and yes, I knew the risks of reviewing it as instructed on the package, but you know, rules are rules, right? So if you promise us a Korean take on fettuccine Alfredo, the sauce should really be the consistency of Alfredo sauce, and it's just not. And also, as I kind of anticipated, it is just a little too sweet, I think. So as it stands, following the instructions, we've got a good portion of excellent noodles and an extremely tasty hearty sauce that could just use a little extra thickening and maybe a touch less sugar. I'm awarding this an 8.5 out of 10 overall, with the caveat that if you defy the instructions and manage to get this sauce into a thicker state, it is almost assuredly a 9 or even a 9.5 out of 10. Definitely worth a purchase if this is something that piques your curiosity. So look, for all my bluster about the thickness of the sauce, this is seriously delicious. If you're into the idea of fusion cuisine, you should try it. Just know ahead of time that this is how it will turn out unless you get creative. I will almost assuredly buy this again, and I'll be on the lookout for the Tangle kimchi rosé flavor, of course, and we'll review that if I find it. But for now, this is an excellent idea from Samyang, and I hope they do more of these. I will be very interested to see what else they come up with. So if you try this, let me know what you think and how you decided to cook it. Or let's talk about fusion products in general, if there are any out there that you love. Please check out my other reviews if they interest you, and I hope to see you next time on Noodle Journey.